Hi all. We are back with the Aussie Roll Call podcast, but this week's audio, it's a little bit different. I ducked down to Pixel Expo here in Western Australia to catch up with some TTRPG creatives live on the floor. And as part of their podcast zone, I got to talk to Hit Dragons as well as Sphinx Stationery. We talked about accessories at the table, notebooks, DIY dice, all things in between. It is worth noting, though, that live audio, like captured on the floor, is a little less cleaned than maybe what you've gotten used to, but we hope that you get the feel for the real vibe of the floor of a convention like Pixel Expo. But with that, on to our chats with Hit Dragons and Sphinx Stationery, as well as the Vox Pops I did around the floor with some Fast Fives. Hello, everybody. We are down at Pixel Expo for the Aussie Roll Call podcast. I'm Kate, one of the three hosts, but the other two aren't here today because we're on the West Coast and they're not. So for those who don't know what we do, we are a TTRPG podcast based on news and interviews all about the Australian roleplay space instead of about, everyone else. And I have just seen the best dress covered in dice walk past, and it's an excellent choice. I know. I know. But it is the best dress, and it really does tie us beautifully into our guests for the interviews for today. I have the lovely Alyssa from Sphinx Stationery and the excellent Troy, the maker of some of the dice on that dress that just wandered past, from Hit Dragons. How are you both today? How is your Pixel Expo going?
It's going great. I didn't really expect much, so exceeded expectations.
Exceeded. Tick. How about you, Troy?
Yeah, doing really well. I love Pixel. We're back here for our second year out of the three that have been Pixel so far. So, loving it. Absolutely loving it.
I love it. I love that it's a beautiful mesh of like all of our favorite flavors of nerddom. We've got everyone from your video games and anime, right, and cosplay right the way through to us dice people, us TTRPG humans. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have a bit of a three-way chat here about both Sphinx and about Hit Dragons. So if you do want to hang out and have a bit of a listen, that'd be just grand. So I'd love to start, if we don't mind, Troy. Given you guys have done Pixel Expo before, can you give me a bit of a picture of your interactions with tabletop role-playing games in general? Because I feel like you have a touch of experience under your belt there.
So I've been with TTRPG since probably about 89. 89, 90s where I originally started with it all. So, actually back in high school back in the day. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, it's sort of just been building up progressive from there. And, now into the point where I'm tend to be the supplier of a lot of people's shiny little math rocks.
We love clicky-clacky math rocks. They're our favourite. I swung past your stall earlier and spotted a whole bunch of things my bank balance does not want me to buy, but I definitely do need to invest in. What about yourself, Alyssa? Sphinx is slightly newer than Hit Dragons on the scene, but can you tell us a bit about your interaction with TTRPGs?
Yeah, so I guess this year, 2024, has been the first year that I have done any sort of convention. So I kind of have just dove headfirst into it. The Sphinx Stationery has only been around for about a little over a year now. So everything's new. I'm learning. I have to learn fast. And we're here. So we're doing something.
Now, Sphinx Stationery feels like it says in the title a bit about what it does. But can you tell our lovely listening audience who haven't seen your very excellent products that I also want to get my hands on, can you tell us a bit about what you've created over at Sphinx Stationery?
Yeah, sure. So it's just stationery. It's in the name. For tabletop RPGs. Started with Dungeons & Dragons, and then expanded to a few other systems. But it's just designed to keep all of your campaign in order.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I had a look. There's like journals for players and journals for DMs, and it's all broken up and sectioned. Feels like you have designed these very specifically.
Very, very specifically.
Yeah. Could you not find something that you wanted desperately?
No, I found it
There's new resources coming out all the time, and we all know there's gaps in markets that we all fulfill. So what gap have you designed yourself for?
For the super organized, for the note taker specifically.
For the best players.
Yes. For the one that you want at your table. Or force someone into that role, of course, by giving them one of my notebooks, and then they have to fill it out.
Yeah. I'm keeping my eye on the digital version, which I know I can pick up online as well, which means that I can tablet to my heart's content.
If it's like me, I carry around 5 notebooks for that reason.
Well,
So,
with mine, you just need one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's perfect, right? What about you, Troy? What other than dice? Because you are the purveyors of fine clicky-clacky math rocks.
Yes.
What else does the lovely Hid Dragons bring to the TTRPG space, especially here in Perth, Western Australia?
So here, one of our main focuses is we like to teach people how to make their own dice as well. We've got our own molds, we've got our own masters, everything like that. So we teach everyone the whole process of how to make their own set of dice.
Yeah.
Usually lasts over a couple of weekends. And they walk away with their own set of dice, customised to their own character and everything of that nature. We don't want to be the only ones in Perth making dice, so we're happy to spread the love.
That's great. I mean, I'm sure, just like Alyssa, you with your notebook, I'm sure there are people out there who are like, I want dice that look exactly like this, but no one has them. And this sounds like a great opportunity for them.
We get to the point of people bring in pet fur and incorporate pet fur into dice if they want, from a special loved one, absolutely. We've had people bring in feathers and embed them into dice. We've had other people bring in other objects to put into dice, absolutely.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen put into a dice?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Teeth.
Sorry, what?
Somebody has brought in baby teeth and put them into a dice.
So someone's living their true vampire tooth fantasy? Wow. I did not expect... When you said pet fur, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty weird. Baby teeth.
Their own or somebody else?
No, it was their son's baby teeth.
Oh, I hope that was a gift for the son somehow. I feel like... Sorry, that is not completely throwing me, but my brain is like, what else could you... Alyssa, what would you put in a set of dice if you were making them with Hit Dragons? What would you put in them?
You're putting me on the spot.
I'm sorry. I'm now thinking, what would I put in them? Like, teeny tiny Pokemon minis? No. Teeny tiny dice inside my dice.
More dice.
That's what I do. Yeah.
So I mean, we actually do 3D print a lot of little objects for people to put into
cool.
dice. So with the resin printers we do, I've just finished a Cyndaquil set for someone.
Oh no!
So we've embedded little baby printed Cyndicals into dice. Absolutely, we do that all sort of thing. Yeah. Not a problem at all.
Yeah.
I just commissioned a customized set of dice, and it was a snow globe, a liquid core snow globe with a mimic with a Santa hat on it. Beautiful.
Yes, please. Yes, please. See, and this is what I love about TTRPG people in general, right? Is that we're all really, really good at finding the gap in the market and being like, I want to make a thing that fulfills that, and I now also want tiny Christmas mimics in my dice collection.
Of course.
Yeah. So I want to just jump back to your notebooks for a second. So I noticed when I was at your stall earlier, definitely not perusing really hard, that you don't just sell the notebooks, right? You've also got other little add-ons that can be supportive for GMs and things like that at your table. Am I right?
Yes. So I have everything, I guess, is an ecosystem is what I like to call it. So I don't just have the journals. I also have a session pad, and the session pad fits perfectly into the pockets in the notebook. And then I also have sticky notes, and the sticky notes are made to fit into the pages as well. So everything is designed so it can all be used together and harmoniously and all that good stuff.
I don't know how you feel about this, Troy, but like when people want to give you an item and you have to then try and find a spot to write it down of this new weird homebrewed item.
Yep.
I noticed that Alyssa has like little item ones that the DM, they're post-it notes. So you can hand your player the thing to stick in the notebook so they can never lose it again.
So I've got almost like a filofax sort of old style system at the side that I'll fold away into different areas. So if it's a useful item that's not necessarily a weapon, it'll go into my useful item section. If it's a weapon, if it's a shield or something like that, those little bits and pieces, I have them all like super organised.
I love organised people. They make me so happy. But no, I can totally imagine sitting at the table with, in fact, products from both of you, because the dice sets are great, and you've got not just dice, but also, as a friend of mine who's here with me picked up, little fidget dragons and things of that nature that live in the ecosystem of the table.
Yeah. So we do 3D print a lot of those as well. So we have a lot of, because I have neurodiversity in my family, so we do a lot of fidget toys and fidget animals for anywhere from the ages of about 3 or 4 years old right the way through, and they all just aesthetically feel, the touch, the feel, depending on how we print them as to how the touch and feel comes out. So we can get a wide variety of different sensations from those single prints.
Obviously, we're in a quite isolated city in this world. Do you find for both of you that you get interest from not just local people for your products? Are you shipping Australia-wide, worldwide? Are we conquering the TTRPG universe?
Yeah, so I also ship from the US, which has been amazing. They handle the US and Europe, so I'm getting worldwide. Mrs. Worldwide.
Mrs. Worldwide is your new title now. You realize that? Alyssa, Mrs. Worldwide, bracket, Sphinx Stationery, close bracket. There we go.
I love that. And yeah, I personally ship to Australia and New Zealand as well. So we live in a few countries out of there, but hoping to incorporate them in relatively soon.
Yeah. And with us, we've sort of just started Perth originally. We've now expanded out to sending around Australia. And yeah, we are looking to go further, but at the moment we're just keeping our hands on not growing the business too quickly to the point where it explodes, you can't handle it, and then all of a sudden it could implode, to the point of casually just growing the business in such a way, in a sustainable way, that I can keep control of it all.
I think that's so important. It sounds like you're doing something similar, Alyssa, with yours, just making sure that your quality stays there, even if your quantity can't push as fast as you may wish it to.
Yeah,
absolutely. I will always pick quality over quantity, and that's part of what our branding is part of what our business is we bring the quality rather than throwing out 400 sets of dice, of which 340 of them may have a bubble in there and be off balance or something like that. I'd rather pull in 50 sets of spot-on dice every single time.
No, absolutely. What about yourself, Alyssa? Just deliberately keeping it?
Yeah, of course. Quality over quantity, always. Can't say it better than that.
No, and I think you can see that with because you've gone from having D&D to Pathfinder and now Cypher, am I right?
Yes, and I'm very hands-on. I have to do the research. I joke that reading textbooks is my pastime. That's all I do.
And that is why we want to make good quality handbooks for all of our games so that the lovely people like Alyssa can make beautiful, beautiful additional content to go alongside it.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you both tabletop game yourselves. Do you use your own products? Do you find other people see your products when you're using them and are like, I want all of these things?
Oh, absolutely, I do. I make a custom set every time I go to play a new character.
I love that.
What's the biggest sale point to that? I mean, I'll go for, if I want some gnomish character, I'll go for something really deep and dark, or if I want to go for a paladin or something like that, I'll mix with silvers, with light blues. Yeah, really make a different set. I mean, I've got one set at the moment that I love reproducing every single time for more vampiric type of characters. I've got what we call a Dexter dice. So what we actually do is we have a dice inside of a dice, like what you're after.
Yep.
But the inside dice is pure white. We then splatter it with paint that looks like blood, and then that gets cast into a clear outside, and it looks like a full blood splattered, blood dripping, everything all over a full dice set. It is probably one of the most favourite sets of dice I use to make.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a great perk to running a dice company, is to make your own dice for every game you've ever wanted to play. That feels like cheating the system, but I'm absolutely here for it. But I mean, I'm all for fairness, though. It's all about the balanced dice. Everything that we make sure it's balanced. I won't sell an off-balance dice for that reason. I'm a very, very fair person. Some people call it unfair, but I just think it's level the playing field. Yeah, flatten it out. What about yourself, Alyssa? I assume you play with your own product?
Of course. It's the most important thing at the table. And not only do I give myself, cool Sphinx stationery swag, but I also give everyone else at the table a notebook and the DM a journal, and they get to try the newest prototypes as well. Yeah, so invite me to your games, and I will give you stuff.
Makes a note to invite Alyssa to all of the games of D&D I play ever.
Which makes it so I always have a campaign going. It's honestly just for me.
Again,
I'm being selfish.
Perks. Troy, have you had a chance to have a look at Alyssa's stuff at Sphinx Stationery? Have you seen the notebooks over the way? Because
we've had so many people bouncing between our stalls. I haven't had the opportunity yet to go over, but I am absolutely 100%
I think you're going
to be over.
I think you're going to have a very good time having a look at those.
I think we're going to be spending all the money that we're making today.
Yeah,
as
It
one
wouldn't
should.
surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me either. I want to kind of shift away from like the products that we have, but like we all are TTRPG humans. What do you wish existed in the space that doesn't? So like you've gone, I want to be able to make my own dice, and I want other people to be able to do that. So we're making that happen. I want notebooks that are going to mean that all of the information that I need to hold in my head that doesn't stay there is right there and accessible in a way that I want it to be. Like for me, I'm like, I would like more. I mean, we were talking the other week to Saz from Equals and Dragons, and they got down into getting glassware made. So they've got different themed, like bar. You've got your glassware that's bard themed and GM themed and all these things. And they were like, nothing exists like that. We're gonna make it. So have you got any other things you're like, I wish there was a this? And then we can all steal your ideas and put them on the market ourselves.
Yeah, so I think the thing that I'm making right now, which has been responded to really, really well, is like a daily journal, but like make it nerd. So I'm calling it a life quest journal, like a weekly planner, and instead of tasks and to-do lists, you have quests and sub-quests, and you're not goal planning, you're creating your prophecies. And I've gotten such good feedback with it because I feel like there's a lot of crossover with neurodivergence and TTRPGs, and it's really helpful for people with ADHD and autism, and to think about life in that way of like, it's a quest.
Gamification of
the
life.
Gamification of life. So that's something I'm really excited about being able to do, and I'm glad it's being pretty well received. I have my first prototype out here at the convention, so yeah, it's been going really well.
That's cool. I am not going to lie, that has made me very excited, and everyone who is here down near the podcast stage at Pixel Expo just got to watch my face light up like a Christmas tree. Note to self, do not buy a 2025 journal yet. Just keep an eye out for when Alyssa's products come and hit the stalls. But that sounds great. Troy, I'd be down for that.
Absolutely.
Like gamification of my life.
I'm already lining up for it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's cool. And so do you have like a rough plan for release for that? Because that sounds like something that now people are going to be like, when, where, now, why, please, hello.
My second prototype is coming to me in the next week or so, and I'm hoping I can finalize it and get it out within 2 months or so.
So, given that this podcast will come out about 6 weeks from now, we'll be right on the keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on Sphinx Stationery, friends, because that sounds like it's going to be coming pretty soon.
Yes, getting ready for 2025.
Sounds like an any day now.
Yep, I am so keen. And I can see there's someone out the front being like, yes, I would like the quest journal for my life. Thank you very much. What about yourself, Troy? Anything that Hit Dragons are working on? Anything that you would love to see?
Absolutely. So obviously, because we focus a lot on our dice, we tend to find there's not a lot of dice when it comes to neurodiversity.
Sure.
So we've been working with our suppliers around different styles of dice.
Yeah.
So we've got our first prototypes and our first sets of silicon dice out.
Yes, I saw those on your
so
stall.
We're running for those at the moment. We do have some improvements to make to those. Because what we want to do is we want to be inclusive. Anyone can play D&D. Anyone should be able to play D&D. So we're working on a set with a couple of sight impaired people at the moment to make a braille set of dice.
Wow.
And things like that. So we're trying to bring everyone into play and enjoy D&D like we do.
That's so cool.
And we will just continue to move on that path of anyone with the sight. We've got larger sets out there at the moment, which are people that have mobility and grip issues. So we're bringing out larger sets of dice for those people, still at a good weight, but not overly excessively heavy.
Yeah.
Like I said, the braille dice, the silicon dice, all of these sort of things, giving people the opportunity to roll a dice like we do.
I think that's so cool. I think we've all kind of touched on now the importance of accessibility when it comes to the gaming, because I mean, you said, Alyssa, ADHD and autism and the general neurodivergency across the entirety of the TTRPG space. It's real. We acknowledge it, and I think it is so important that we do make those choices. Yeah. Are there any things that you can point at that might be tips for GMs, tips for players to assist with them? Like, we've said that making good notes if you're neurodivergent might be a really good thing because you might forget what's coming next, or What has happened 3 sessions ago with the very important item that you were definitely given and you don't remember? Any thoughts and things that you could, like, hot tips for people? From either of you. I mean, we both, like, my big thing is, friends, take notes. Just please take notes. Oh my God, take notes. Yep. Please write it down. And also, if you've forgotten something, ask your GM, because they will have written it down. Or at least if someone has written it down, then everyone will know about it. So please, help each other. Also, do not design dice that you cannot read the numbers on. I'm looking at you, dice designers. If I can't read the number, it's no point in it being a dice.
So a lot of the time when it comes to identifying neurodiversity and things like that, one of the things we recommend and we are 100% support with ourselves is use a colour coding system. Mm-hmm. So when you've got a character out there, you've got the character names there. As a DM, you've got the character names out there in front of you. You've got a colour coding system that you can run to identify bits and pieces on how certain words can trigger certain people and things like that. So you can steer away from all of that. So we highly recommend using a system, whether it be a colour code or an item code or something like that, to assist. Because it's meant to be enjoyable. Everyone's meant to be enjoyable. You don't want one person sitting there at the table that's uncomfortable with the situation and everyone else is laughing around about it. It's not a good situation.
Yeah.
I personally have been in that situation before, and it's not the best situation to sit there and see someone in the corner distracting themselves and withdrawing themselves from a game where everyone else is enjoying them so much.
No, for sure.
So.
I'll tag on to that and say that a session 0 is so important for that exact reason, to go over the topics that you're going to be covering, and even if it might not sound like anyone would have an issue with it, it's important to say those words out loud.
Yeah.
You know, make everyone agree on it. And those color coding systems of like being able to take out like a green flag and being like, yeah, I'm fine with this, or taking out a yellow and be like, hey,
Maybe let's move on.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I'm a big advocate for Session 0. Anyone who's listened to me at all will be like, yes, that is Kate's like number one thing. Are we Session 0ing, and like having those boundaries preset so that everyone knows, not just the GM, but like I know that I don't want to talk about something that's going to mean someone else is not going to have a good day.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing in a game recently. One of my friends doesn't like space. Space is terrifying. I love space. Space is amazing. But we're not going to play in the same game if it's a space setting.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Exactly.
They don't have to play. I'll play. They don't have to. That's okay. There's another game for them. And I think like knowing that is always really important. Alrighty, folks. So, do you have any questions for each other before I like power into the next like little section I've got going over here?
With a lot of your diaries and the books, do you make them with different colours? Do you make them in different materials? So is everything sustainable? Are they proper leathers? Are they...
So it's all sustainable. I don't make them myself. I tried to at the very beginning, and it ended up being like a whole day for like 4 notebooks. So I had to outsource that, but I that is very important to me. So I need to know like where the manufacturer is getting it, and I'm on top of all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
We've talked a bit about dice, we've talked a bit about notes. Is there anything else that we love to have at the gaming table? Like, I'm a big, like, accessories person. I love me a dice tower. Need to invest in a new dice tower. But, like, dice towers, things like that. Or are we theatre of the mind people? Are we minis people? What's your, like, tabletop setup if you could have an ideal tabletop?
I put as much on the table as I possibly can.
Tabletop mountain.
Absolutely. I have a dice tower in the shop that's about 2.5 foot tall.
That's a big dice tower.
It looks like a giant big cathedral.
Yep.
Took about 6 days to print.
Yes.
And it is the most epic dice tower you have ever seen. Mm-hmm. And that goes right in front of me. So looking around the dice tower to see people on the other end of the table. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, big chunky boys is what I'm hearing from Troy.
Making a statement.
Yeah, no, totally. What about yourself, Liz? Is there anything you're like, things I would love to have, things that I see at tables that I would like to have more of?
Yeah, I mean, I love theater of the mind, but nothing beats a good mini. I'm a huge Hero Forge person, but I just started learning Blender as well, so I can make my own customizations.
Yeah.
The entire process is incredible. Just the customization and then the painting and then being able to utilize them as well.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Feels like the two of you are going to get talking about fidgets and minis and resin printing in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. So yeah, we do print a lot of minis for people at the moment, for sure.
I will be coming to you.
Absolutely.
Oh dear, we're starting everyone's terrible hobby of many paints, many dice, many notebooks. When I say terrible hobby, I mean perfect. Absolutely, exactly how I would
Of
want
course,
to
we
be.
all love it.
Yeah.
We love it. Of course, yes.
We just have to have our room dedicated to all of our TTRPG stuff.
I did have a room at home until my wife said, "Yeah, no, it's too much." So we got a shop.
A shop. That seems sensible. Like you must upgrade from your desk to the room in the house to the entire storefront. That makes perfect sense to me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is I started out as like a very minimalist, person. I had my player's handbook. I had one set of dice, and I had like one dice tray, my paper character sheet, and I was like, that's all I need. And here I am. I have about 10 dice sets with 2 more coming in. I have my own TTRPG company. Like, I don't know how it happened.
Oh,
but
I know exactly how it happens.
When a D20 and a D12 love each other very much. No, I think you are absolutely like I might have bought a dice avid calendar. It might be a problem. It might have become a clicky math problem, but I think it's absolutely the case that we all end up there. We all are like, no, I'll use digital dice.
Yeah,
No,
I'll
you
just
won't.
roll for
No, you
advantage.
won't.
I'll just roll the D20 twice. Ridiculous.
That's why you need at least a set of 11 at a minimum, and then go from there. With your dice sets that you do sell, do you mostly make them? Do you mostly source them? Do you have a combination of the above?
So we have a combination. Obviously, we make a lot of dice, and we teach people how to make a lot of dice. We do source dice as well. Some of the dice we have, some of the metals, there is no way I can make them efficiently and make them as economical as I can elsewhere. So yeah. But a lot of them are custom colours, so we do tend to work with our manufacturers and work for specific colours.
Love that.
And there are specific ranges of colours that we do like, and that just react very well. So we know that we've got a bronze set of dice works very, very well with like a crystal purple or a crystal blue, and the colour just really pops out of the actual dice. Once again, all visual. It's all visual when it comes to a set of dice. It doesn't just have to roll good, but it's a lot of good. It has to look damn good while rolling good. So
pretty clicky-clacky math rocks.
Absolutely. So
yeah. And I assume the aesthetic around having had a look at the Sync Stationery notebooks, you have gone not just for full functionality, which I can guarantee if you flick through one of those, that thing is functional AF, but also that it's aesthetic and it's easy to find what you are looking for. I assume that was part of the design process.
Yeah, so that was like one of the things when I was looking online for, different journals or tools, and a lot of it was just like too much, where they had really amazing designs, but for me, I couldn't focus. So, I like to think that my designs are pretty minimal, but it's still nice to look at.
Yeah. I think it is, and I'm sure you'll back me up here. If you look at a D&D character sheet, it's a lot of information in one go.
Absolutely.
Whereas I think what you've done really successfully, certainly from what I've seen anyway, is that you've spread that information out, but it's still very easily found.
Yes. Yeah. And I tend to find that with a lot of character sheets, they get overcomplicated very, very quickly with everything that you need. Or when you start looking at specialties, when you start looking at spellcasters, everything like that, it can explode very, very quickly. And if you're editing that all the time, all of a sudden, it just becomes this grey mess in the middle of a page.
And it's distracting.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You should be concentrating on what you're looking at on the paper rather than what spell you're going to cast next or what direction your characters are going to take.
Yeah, the role-playing part of the game should be more important than the trying to find the tiny number on my sheet. I know very much that. I'm going to ask you both, we kind of touched on things that are coming up, but are there any things that you have coming up or things you'd like to tell us about that the audience might want to be like crossing their fingers that they'll be able to get on into for either of you? I'll start with you, Troy. You got any dice making classes coming up? Any fun appearances at other conventions, things like that?
Absolutely. So yes, we have dice classes that run roughly every 4 to 6 weeks. We are increasing the number of molds that we have so we can create more dice classes because everybody wants more dice. That as well, and we're actually working on a bit of a line of apparel. So
Yeah.
we've got a D&D line of apparel, hoodies, jumpers, shirts, that sort of stuff. So with your some of your classic iconic sayings, but having a bard shirt or having a warrior shirt or a barbarian shirt, and just a saying or something that goes on along those sort of lines, just something a little bit quirky.
Yep.
That brings out the inner nerd, but is still
Nerd flavored but appropriate for the office.
absolutely.
There we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what I need. More nerd flavored but appropriate for the office. There's a shirt that I designed for a project I work on that everyone's like, that, but for the office. I'm like, I'll work it out eventually. What about you, Alyssa? Anything you're working on? Obviously, the Questing Life Journal is your big next project.
Yes, that's the big one. And then also I started focusing on like other RPGs. So Call of Cthulhu will come out pretty soon. I love that RPG.
Someone has just literally applauded that idea over in the wings, so good.
Yeah, so I had to like make some tweaks to my journals because the Call of Cthulhu is retirement friendly, and they die a lot sometimes.
As someone who has recently played some Cthulhu, yes, I do.
So just had to make some tweaks to the design to make it, play nice with the retirement-friendly mechanics.
Yeah, but great to hear that there's other systems, because I know that we've got some friends of the podcast who are very Call of Cthulhu humans. People may have caught our episode with Cat Clay, and they will be well and truly on board for some Call of Cthulhu notebooks.
It's coming soon.
It's coming soon. We will watch this space, and I'm sure we will shamelessly promote it everywhere as soon as we get that opportunity. All right, folks, we've been chatting for about a half an hour, so I think it's time for the most important 5 questions you will ever answer in your entire life. The Aussie Roll Call Fast 5. This will not be fast, but you do not have to justify your answers. If you want to, you absolutely can. Technically, it's 5 and a tiny bit numbers of questions, because one of them I'm splitting into 2 bits. But I've been vox popping these all over Pixel Expo today, so hopefully we'll get some other fun answers tacked on for here today. I'm going to start with the most important. As a snacker myself, what is the very best gaming table snack? I'd say there's no wrong answers. I feel like that is not the case with this question, but there are no wrong answers. Troy, what do I need to have? What is my gaming table snack of choice?
I've actually bought one for you. I've called into my local. I've bought something for you.
Oh, yeah?
This is my snack of choice, where I have meagering flavoured potato chips.
Meagering, there are literally, for those who are listening,
You have to try them.
there are
Open them up, give them
meagering
a try.
flavoured chip. Wow. I'm going to try this off mic so that I don't sound awful. But, oh my gosh, these are Chitato Indomie meagering fried noodle flavoured potato chips.
Go
that I have
to
been
university.
handed. If you can hear, that is the packet that I have just been
ASMR.
handed. Wow.
lived on meagering through university. I might
That's
as well just keep
fair.
carrying it through.
Well, I promise I will try them after this podcast when this is recording. I'm assuming you're not going to pull a packet of...
Yeah, now I feel bad.
No, please don't. What about you, Alyssa? What would you like? What's your snack of choice?
You can't beat, good snakes. Gummy snakes. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. You don't have, they're not messy. You don't have to lick your fingers or anything.
Now, hang on. You just said the 2 words. So we had. I'm not going to name who they were. Someone said that their choice was pastries. Now, the disgusted look that I was just given, I'm vindicated for my reaction when that was said. So I said there's no wrong answers, but there is. There is a wrong answer.
What are you going to do? Smudge the icing over...
The sentence was load the dice with their sticky fingers. But anyway, you'll have to listen to old episodes to find out who said that.
I'll fight them.
My question now is important. It is our favourite dice question. Now, I'm breaking it into 2 bits, because I think it's only fair, because we have someone who creates sets of dice, so it feels reasonable. Favourite dice shape. What's the shape? I think I've been called out on the fact that it's D6 for me, because you can play lots of games with them, and they're really easy to get.
I love the D4.
The Caltrop version that's the stabby boy, or the newfangled gemstone-y style?
The gemstone style.
That's fair.
And just because D4s are... You can make them in so many different ways, and it's not just the, step on them and hurt your foot sort of deal. But they're coming out with, different gemstone types. Love it. Love the creativity.
Cool. Troy, shape.
D20.
There it is.
There it is.
That's it.
No
Yeah.
surprise.
It's the
All good.
D20.
No, that's fair. You are like the 8th person today to tell me it's a D20, and I'm like, that's valid. That's valid. It's TTRPG people stole it. All right. What about favorite like set or specific dice or design? That's what I'm looking for. What do you want to do?
Ooh. I just recently bought it's kind of like a porcelain looking, with the edges are edged in gold,
Oh, nice.
and it's just so pretty.
Like fancy teacup style?
Yes, fancy teacup style.
I'm here for it. And oh no, Troy has pulled out another box onto the table. What has been done?
This is my favourite dice.
This is your favorite dice.
This is my favourite dice, and
It is a chunky D20 with liquid core with what look like
Eyeballs.
dragon eyes in them. Eyeballs in them. It is an eyeball dice.
Talk about Call of Cthulhu
Holy
horrors.
Moses. I'm going to get a photo of this so that we can post it up when this episode goes live.
that is probably my favourite dice at this point in time. A big 85mm D20.
And do you make these?
No.
No. So I have a 60mm D20, but that thing is big. That is a big dice.
It has some heft and it has some weight. So when that comes out on the table, it's like,
That's an important rule
That's
right there.
That's an aspects of Tiamat dice. That is a big chunky boy whore, and it is creepy because the eyeballs are weighted and they look at you.
They follow
It's
you.
the
They
dice
follow
people love
you.
to hate.
Yep.
You either love it or you
That
hate
is.
it.
Like, I love it, but there's a bit of me that hates it. I will also say, if anyone doesn't like small circles, avoid the picture of this that I will post on social media. We will,
No,
trypophobia. Just
that's
be
not
aware.
your favourite dice. Yeah.
No. All right. How about this? Let's just change away from creepy eyeball dice. What about you've got someone who's brand new? They've never played a tabletop role-playing game before. I'm sure there's a bunch of those people here at Pixel Expo today. What game are you introducing them to? What is the game? What are you going, okay, you know what? I know you've never played. We're going to play a game of this. What's the game we're playing?
I'm picking Honey Heist.
Honey Heist is a
Cool.
good shout. Grant
It's-
Howitt's Honey Heist
Yeah,
is a good
it's
shout.
just a single page. You're a bear and you want honey.
Yep.
That's all it is. It doesn't take you long to, set up the rules. You do all the rules at the table together. You don't even need to rock up with a character. You create it right then and there. And it's just chaos. It's maximum chaos, maximum fun.
Minimum sheets to read.
Exactly. And that's, you get into the heart of TTRPGs so fast. And it clicks. You can see when it clicks with someone and you're like, this is the reason.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. You get put on the spot to do a little bit of improv, but it's all lighthearted.
Yeah.
I love it.
You are Winnie the Pooh. It's everything. What about you, Troy? I feel like you're going to say something different, which is fine.
Yeah. I tend to find I like introducing people through homebrew.
Yep.
Yep. Using a simple one-shot homebrew, 4 hours maximum.
Of 5e or of...
Yep,
Yeah,
5e.
of 5e.
Absolutely. So you can really cut down the rule set and slowly introduce rules as you go.
Yeah.
You don't have to include the whole rule set at the
Yeah,
start.
that's true.
Of course, you don't have to include every character type at the start, so you can really knuckle down and get into that one shot homebrew.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it all, and then it's just the you watch their eyes open up as you get towards the end of the campaign, going, hey, this is something really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's... We've had a few people today say 5e. I think for that reason, it's like it's the one that they've heard of. So,
Yep.
But I love Honey Heist. I love Honey Heist. All right, 2 more. You've got your dice. You've got your snacks. I feel like I know Alyssa's answered this, but I'll go to you first. Your other tabletop must-have.
Well,
I can't imagine what it could possibly
Yeah.
be.
my specifically Sphinx Stationery notebook.
Oh!
Character notebook. Who would have guessed?
No, really?
Shameless plug.
Wow. What about you, Troy?
For me, it's Is
Is it your big, chunky, terrifying dice tower?
No. No, I would probably lean more towards my character and status rings.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fair. And that's because you obviously play a lot of tabletop as
Yes.
opposed to
Yep.
virtual tabletop.
Yes. So yeah. we try and get. I like the face-to-face interaction with people rather than. I mean, it's fantastic being inclusive and being to be able to play a game with people across the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic, and I do that quite regularly with other friends of mine that I've met over the years. But nothing beats face-to-face. Put a map on the table.
Yeah.
Get your characters out.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, roll the dice. Get your status rings in front of you and just start throwing them out at everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck it, you're all blind. Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, last question, and possibly the most important decision you will make all day. If I could give you a companion, a minion, a little like robot, like you're familiar in D&D 5e, what do you want? What's your little guy? Who's hanging out with you? Who's your buddy?
This might be pretty basic, but a pseudo dragon. Give me
I
one
think
of
you are the
those.
first person to say pseudo dragon, so I don't think it's basic at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a mini dragon. It's little
guy.
Just a little guy.
What about you, Troy? What's your grab?
And for me, in the characters I play, it's more a fire sprite.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
a fire sprite. Yeah,
I love that.
something that you can. It's good on a cold night.
Yep.
Well, it makes it easy.
Not so good
but
on
then-
a warm night.
Absolutely, not so good on a
Oh,
warm
I don't
night.
know. Big campfire energy, middle of the summer. I love
That's
that.
true. That's
Love
true.
that.
That's it. But yeah, it's using that character to help light arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow,
and lighting
yeah.
haystacks in behind people, distractions. Yeah,
Yep.
It's more of a terrorist sort of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you're getting very like attacky with your little fire sprite. Here's me thinking like adorable
No.
little pseudo dragon. Nope, we're gonna go burn
I
the
didn't even
haste.
think about that
Just
utility.
burn that place down.
Arson. Why not?
I never thought someone would say the phrase arson, why not, in the middle of our podcast, but here we are. Just for legal reasons, don't do arson.
Don't
End of
do
sentence.
arson.
All right, well, we are going to wrap up very, very shortly, but I'm going to ask for the both of you to plug the living heck out of what you do. Make sure our audience know all about you, what you do, and where they can find you, which is more important because, as we've said, you're both Australia-wide and some international audiences as well who may want to tune in and find out a bit more. So I'll start with you, Troy. Where can we find out all about you, what you're doing, what's going on?
Okay, so yes, we have got Facebook, Instagram, website, hitdragons.com. All of our products are up on the website. We have a few extra resources that we're building at the moment.
Yep.
They can also find us here locally. We are a locally based company here in Perth, based in Cannington on the weekends. More than happy for anyone to come in and talk dice and anything shiny, rolly, 3D print-wise, character-wise, anything like that. Absolutely. More than happy to do it pretty much every weekend.
Every weekend. That sounds like an excellently bad use of my time. All right, and Alyssa, tell us all about where can we find notebooks galore?
Notebooks galore. Just on my website, sphinxstationery.com. That's stationery with an E-R-Y.
Session Eerie, not Session Airy.
Airy, yeah. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Yeah, and you can find me anywhere online. And yeah, don't worry about shipping because I ship from multiple places. So come get your notebook.
We love when places do, and digital versions as well.
And
So if
digital,
you can't front for shipping, you can always go digital. All right, well, thank you so much. I want to give a massive shout out to the lovely team here at Pixel Expo for letting us come and hang out in the podcast zone to chat all things tabletop role-playing game. I'm sure we're going to continue talking long after this. But thank you, Troy. Thank you, Alyssa. I'm sure we'll cut right now into some news with
thank you.
Stevie.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Kate, for such an awesome interview with Troy and Alyssa. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Now, on to the news segment. First piece of news I have is a brand new game has dropped from Joy Young, over on Itch. It is called Zombies. It is perfectly timed for spooky season, and it is a one-page RPG. The pitch is, you have died, but that's okay. You've now risen from the earth as a member of the Walking Dead. What do you do with your second chance at life? You'll need 2 to 4 players, plus a GM, something to write with, a D6 and a D10, and obviously a copy of the game. So I will post the link to that in the show notes. It is a prototype, so go test it out and give Joy your feedback. The next bit of news I have is about a game jam. This game jam is being run by someone in the art community, and it is all about creating physical games for stocking stuffers. So the pitch is, wouldn't it be great if those stockings contained a few physical games to entertain and delight, sparking children's imaginations and igniting a lifelong love of tabletop gaming? Let's make that possible. This is a game jam to gather games that fit the following basic criteria. They are analog, so not digital. They can be easily printed at home on a single sheet of paper. Both sides is fine. They are standalone games that do not require any additional rules or printouts to play, so no adventures or locations that are made for a larger game, and they were first published sometime during 2024. So that is going to be available on itch. Submissions are open until the 12th of November, and entries to that can be opted into a pay what you want bundle that will be available for the month of December, but you can also opt out of that as well. I will put the link to the Tabletop Stocking Stuffers Game Jam in the show notes. Vox Pops.
Hey everyone, it is Kate and I am down at Pixel Expo at the Perth Convention and Exhibition Centre right here in Perth to have a chat to some makers and crafters from all over the WA TTRPG space. Alrighty, I am with Scott from Tabletop Trinkets. Hey Scott, how you doing? How's Pixel going for you?
It's great, Kate. We're having a blast, selling lots of trinkets and having lots of chats about D&D.
Excellent. Alright Scott, I've got your Fast Five ready for you. So, favourite snack at the TTRPG table?
I love an almond or a pretzel.
Ooh, favourite dice shape?
I love the D20. I love the D20.
The classic, the fair. What about a set? Got a favourite set that you love to use? The one that rolls lucky for you?
I have a metal set that I break out when the big bad is here and I'm ready to kill some players.
Excellent. Terrifying, but excellent. What about your favourite tabletop game to introduce brand new players to? Never played TTRPG before.
At the moment, I'm loving introducing people to Dread, which is where the mechanic is you draw from a Jenga tower. That's the only rule, and it's like horror. Often I play it as like 80s slasher horror, which I love.
Love that. You've got your dice, you've got your snacks. What else do you absolutely have to have at the TTRPG table? I can see a lot of trinkets, so I'm guessing there's something good.
There are lots of trinkets. I love a dice tray, but I am a forever DM, so it's got to be my DM screen.
That's fair, very, very fair. And last one, if you could have a teeny tiny companion, a little tiny familiar of your own, what would your tiny little companion, minion, familiar be?
I would love a little teeny tiny rabbit.
Cute. All right, Scott. Well, I hope you have a great fun. I hope people check out Tabletop Trinkets, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Kate. You're a legend.
All right, I am hiding near some toilets with Sage from Junibub. Sage, how is Pixel Expo going for you?
It is incredible. I'm having such a good time meeting people, chatting about D&D, ADHD, burnout. It's wonderful.
I'm so looking forward to picking up some sneaky things from your stall a little bit later on here in Artist Alley. So, got my Fast Five for you.
Yeah.
Favorite snack at the TTRPG table? What are you eating? What's the little snacking moment?
I love a good crunchy grape. Like the one that like snaps. It's audible. Everyone can hear it.
Yep. What about your favorite dice shape? You've got a shaped dice.
I love like the really special crystal D4s.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my favorite.
And what about a set?
Yes, I have my favorite set. It has like dried violet flowers in the inside. And it's purple glitter. It's from Ovens and Cottages.
Love that.
Yeah.
And great shout out for somebody else too.
Yeah.
What about your favorite tabletop game to introduce someone who's brand new, never played a tabletop playing game before?
Yeah,
What do you
I would say Sock Goblins.
Ooh.
It's on itch.io and it's incredible. It's super fun. You just play as a bunch of goblins trying to get some socks.
Love that.
It's a fun, wonderful time.
I'm getting a great pickup for me to go and play now. This is going to be good. Okay, you've got your dice, you've got your snacks. What else do you have to have at the table?
Ooh, fidget toys. I have a basket of fidget toys. All my friends and I pass it around. I love having an excuse to add something to the collection. Yeah, it's a must.
All right, and lucky last. If you could have a little companion animal like a familiar in D&D 5e, what would it be? What's your little guy?
Has to be an owl.
Ah,
If you've seen my work, you know I just make tons of owl-related things, so it makes sense.
cute. Well, I'm sure people will check out Junibub, and I hope you have a great rest of Pixel Expo.
You too.
All right, I have stolen Jenny from City Soldier to come and have a quick chat. How is your Pixel Expo going? Is it crazy? Is it wild?
It's going. We've had a bit of a hectic start trying to get everything done. Nonetheless, very intimidated by like all the amazing artists here. So
Yeah,
Amazing. But your stuff is all amazing too, so you absolutely have a place here, don't stress. All right, I've got my fast 5 questions for you. Question number 1, what's the snack that you need at the table? What are you snacking on while you're playing?
I'm actually been snacking on like far too much chocolate lately.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. All the sugar.
Oh, the sugar.
What about your favorite dice shape? Are you a D6, a D20?
I'm actually a D20, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. I like the feel of the
chunk. What about your favorite dice set, or like your favorite dice? Do you have one?
one in particular. No, not really. I can't say that I do.
You just like dice?
I just like dice. It depends on what and who I'm playing at the time.
I'm very much it's got to be the right set for the right time. What about your favorite tabletop game to introduce someone who's never played a tabletop game before? What do you want? What do they want? What are we playing?
We're throwing them in the deep end with Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu is a good shout. Call of Cthulhu is a good shout. We just interviewed Kat Clay about her Any award-winning modules, so absolutely worth it. All right, you've got your snacks, you've got your dice. What else do you need to have at the table? What's with you?
With me is my tablet because I've got to be building otherwise I just can't sit still.
It's totally fair. And I'm sure taking lots of notes for your GM's benefit.
Definitely. Not totally just doing something else and then forgetting whatever he said 2 minutes on.
Lucky last question for you. If you could have a companion, like a little minion animal, like a familiar in D&D, what's your little guy? Who's hanging out with you?
Yeah, so in my Tomb of Annihilation, I've got a little black sheep I've named Duper Flogan.
Love him already.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of Pixel Expo, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, I am with the team from Every Trick Books. How are we going down in this nice little chill corner of Pixel Expo?
Yeah, it's been great. Really good day. Chatted to a lot of people playing some games, throwing some dice.
Love that.
Excellent vibe.
Excellent vibe. It is the vibe in this corner. I'm feeling the chill. All right, we've got our fast 5 for you. They are quick. They are fiery. There are no explanations needed. Favorite snack at the TTRPG table?
It's got to be Skittles.
Skittles.
Sugar the kit, and they don't make your fingers messy.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of mini chocolates. Can't go wrong.
Yep. Sugar abounds
in
at
general.
Every Trick Books. Wonderful. What about favorite dice shape?
I like the metal dice. So
Mhm.
D20, big, chonky, clunky D20. It makes a big, thick sound when it hits the table.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm also a D20 fan. I've got my my resin set with like WA wildflowers in, which makes me very happy.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Well, I would ask you your favorite dice sets, but you've already
There we
answered
go.
those. Nailed that. Absolutely. What about if I've got a brand new player, they've never played a TTRPG before, what game are we introducing them to?
I still sit with 5e, D&D, because it's nice, simple. Everyone knows what dwarf, elf is, and you can get them going pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm the same, honestly. Yep. A
Lots of
nice
fun.
easy starter. Nice
Easy.
one shot.
All right, you've got your snacks, you've got your dice. What else must you have at your TTRPG table?
I'm a big person for tactile stuff, so minis and dungeon tiles and stuff you can see and build a scene out of.
Love that.
And I love having fancy drinks.
Fancy drinks. Love that. You get to have your own little companion, minion, familiar, whatever you want to call it. What's yours? What do you have hanging around with you all the time?
It's got to be like a little robot. I'm thinking like a Mr. Handy or an astromech, like an R2 or something that follows you around with all the tools, all the gadgets, everything you need.
Absolutely.
And in one of my campaigns, my character has a pick-me owlbear called Augustus. And I'd have Augustus because he makes me happy.
That's perfect. Well, I
Yep.
hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. It feels like it's chilling out here, but hopefully we have a nice end of the day for Every Choice.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries. I am still at Pixel Expo, and we are with Mike from Adventurers Loot. How's your day going, Mike? Has it been dice galore here?
It's been amazing. A lot of people interested in a lot of dice, but a lot of good conversations about people's campaigns. There seems to be a lot of love now around the new 2024 version, the handbooks. So all in all, great day.
Great day. All right, I've got my fast 5 for you, so let's go through them. Favorite snack? You're at the gaming table. What's your snack of choice?
Gummy bears. Gummy bears I use as the enemy, and every time we defeat one, we eat one.
I love that. I'm stealing that. Favorite dice shape? D6, D20, where are you at?
D4.
D4 is caltrop style or the little...
Have a look at these for caltrops.
Oh, they're so stabby. They're so they're little metal spiky boys. Absolutely.
D4s are underrated.
D4s are underrated. Fair enough. What about your favourite set? You've got a lot on the table, so I've got to ask. You got a favourite design of set?
I do.
Here or your own?
The hollows. I like the hollow dice. The way they dance in your hand, they ring, and then you roll out, and it's
Beautiful sound.
nice sound. Nice sound.
Absolutely. All right. Got a brand new player. They've never played a TTRPG before. What game are you introducing them to?
So I run D&D Frio, and I run beginner tables.
Lovely.
A lot of the time, I'm now into the fourth time of playing Lost Mines of Fandelver.
Yep, love that.
Very easy, very fun. It's a linear campaign, so it's easy for people to pick up and understand. And basically, we give you, your character sheet's already done, give you a couple of actions, and away you go. So
That's great.
For me, Lost Mines.
I love that. That's a great starting spot. All right. You've got your dice.
Yep.
You've got your snacks.
Yep.
What else do you have to have at the table? What's your must-have?
I was going to sound like basic, but the initiative tracker.
Oh.
So I pre-print all my initiative cards, but I use the images of the characters from the original D&D cartoon.
Nice.
So everyone gets a name, the DM's there, and it's basic, but I need my initiative tracker.
You are the first person to say initiative tracker, and I'm absolutely here for it. All right, last question. You get a companion, a minion, a little familiar. Who are you having? It could be a robot, it could be a little animal. What's your vibe? What's hanging out with you?
Look, I think it's either Unseen Servant or Mage Hand, because when you're behind the screen, you're trying to do so many things. An extra set of hands would be my companion.
I am down for that. That's a brilliant answer. Well, thank you so much, Mike. I hope,
thank you.
Firstly, D&D Freo goes really well, and secondly, that you keep selling some excellent dice. If only I had all the money in the world.
All the dice.
All the dice. All right, thank you.
Some people have been asking us what the best thing they can do is to support the podcast. And honestly, it's rating and reviewing it wherever you're listening to it. It really does help us reach brand new audiences and other listeners just like you. TTRPGs are for everybody, and we want to reach as many people as possible. No matter where you're from, we want you to be part of the discussion, part of the roll call here at Aussie Roll Call.
This podcast is produced in affiliation with the Australian roleplay community. If you'd like to join the ARC community, head to arcrpg.org, where you'll find a link to our vibrant and inclusive Discord server. Your hosts have been Kate O'Sullivan, Dan Machuca, and Stevie Schaefer. Cover art by Helen Graham of Juimon Studios. Title music is Sweet Sunday Groove by Slailkey. Interstitial music is Newer Wave by Kevin MacLeod, used under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. Production by Stevie Schaefer.